Going back to a previous story, in her first tour of the judicial scene across the country, the new Chief Justice, Mabel Ajuma, has emphasized the need for adjudicators to serve the populace justly and fairly without bias. Meeting district tribunals in all jurisdictions, the new Chief Justice, as Ibrahim Jatta reports, is bent on injecting greater efficiency and energy in justice administration.
Equals and always remain impartial and unbiased is the message of Chief Justice Mabel Ajuma to district tribunals, Grts and educators on her first tour of the judicial landscape across the country. A countrywide visit taking the top stratum of the judiciary to all jurisdictions, the Chief Justice joined with the Judicial Secretary to scrutinize the judicial scene barely weeks after she assumed office. Meeting governors and provincial leaders, Chief Justice Ajuma told Grts and district tribunals in the North and Central River regions that they are an important part of the justice delivery process.
First of all, I wanted to meet you and greet you. I also wanted us to talk. I wanted to hear from you, and I wanted you to hear from me.
I would want to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Hajia Jammeh, for this very important appointment in the Women's Empowerment Program of his government.
Gathering for their first meeting with the new Chief Justice, tribunals highlighted the challenges constantly affecting their operations, such as the shortage of material resources and the lack of sufficient scribes to cover their hearings. Promising swift intervention and reformations to make the courts and district tribunals more effective, the Chief Justice told arbitrators that seeing and knowing firsthand the demands impeding the judicial spectrum to find feasible solutions for them is precisely why she is touring the country.
We know of cases where somebody would go to Banjul and say, the chief has denied me this, the chief has done that, when actually there was no even a tribunal on those cases. But on tribunals, we can assure you that we do our best also to be bias-free. At the start, I would ask for, if possible, if we can get summons drawn for us, that would be universal, because some are not user-friendly. Most of the chiefs are illiterates. You come and sue somebody, and the summons that is served is the start of everything, and it has to be user-friendly.
As an early remedy, stationaries were presented to tribunals in the North Bank region before the team moved on to other jurisdictions in the interior.
Of the Constitution that sets up the courts, sets up the district tribunals as part of the courts of the land.
There is no magistrate in Sierra, and again, Sierra is the biggest region, and we have a lot of cases here.
A brief stop at Farafene took the tour party to the town's courthouse, where officials noted the need for exigent renovations. Inside the Upper River region, the tour party thoroughly inspected the major complex housing the Basse High Court, as well as the Magistrate and Children's Court, poring over everything from resources to operations. After listening to staff concerns, Chief Justice Ajuma hailed employees for their unflagging commitment despite difficulties hampering delivery in the region, whilst assuring swift and systematic action for the most pressing issues. A timely and vital interface taking Chief Justice Mabel Ajim around all jurisdictions in the Gambia. Here in the Upper River region, you can see her meeting judicial staff and appraising judicial facilities and courts. A face-to-face of great significance. This is meant to inject greater efficacy in the justice delivery system. A meeting with the region's 7 chiefs discussing critical matters regarding improvements in the district tribunal followed quickly after this.
Do your job well. Judge well.
Here everything was about crafting a practical way forward, bringing increased efficiency in the district tribunals, which the Chief Justice perceives as a great judicial asset, wielding immense jurisdiction in both civil and criminal matters.
You have wide powers to try all matters that arise within your jurisdiction where the defendant is ordinarily resident.
An intensive judicial scheme seeking to effectively decentralize justice administration has seen the judiciary successfully placed in all regions around the country. But more than anything, the real quest here is to access justice to all, ensuring swift and efficient procedures in every situation. That could entail raising capacity, numbers, and resources. The tour continues into the Lower River region, where Chief Justice Ajuma is set to inspect courts, meet judicial staff, and district tribunals, advancing efforts to raise the standard of the justice delivery system. Ibrahim Ajara, GRTS.
A stakeholder consultative forum that brings together representatives of organizations and groups with legitimate interest in food and feed safety has been inaugurated. The body is mandated to ensure that views and concerns of stakeholders that have a bearing on food and feed safety are taken into account. Buba SMCC picks up the rest of that story.
Described as historic in the sense that for the first time in the annals of food safety and quality, such a convergence has brought together stakeholders from across the food and feed value chain, primarily to map out ways of handling food safety and quality food controls in the Gambia. Research has shown that there was no overall structure for governance of food safety controls by government, and accordingly, import control systems for food safety were significantly under-resourced and were not supported by the strong scientific and technical management. Thus, the coming of Food Safety and Quality Authority is seen as crucial for the interests of the Gambian people.
It is a landmark event. For the first time in the Gambia, we have an institutional framework that has provided for direct involvement of stakeholders in the governance of food safety. This provision has been made possible because we have a very progressive food law.
It is envisaged that the establishment of the Food Safety and Quality Authority will ensure an integrated and coherent approach by ensuring that all relevant food safety hazards are taken into account and the resources are allocated to control according to risk of food safety hazards, impacting negatively on consumer health, trade, and commerce. Speaking on behalf of Her Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Aja Aissatou Sedi, the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Office of the Vice President, Abdoulaye Ba, said the government of the Gambia has placed food safety issues right in the care of the government's development agenda, adding that it has equally placed the country in a clear vantage position to put in place a more efficient national food control systems among a host of others.
This bold and decisive move by the government of the Gambia has placed food safety issues right in the core of the government's development agenda. It has also placed the country in a clear vantage position to put in place a more effective and efficient modern national food control system that is expected to substantially have a positive impact on the national economy.
The Food Safety and Quality Authority Act defined the primary responsibility of the food business operation for food safety and requires that control activities are based on science, using the principles of risk analysis and be applied transparently. Animal feeds for the first time have been brought within the scope of control as source of human and animal health hazards. Mohamed Silla, the Chairperson Board of Governors of Food Safety and Quality Authority.
We are here to stir the authority to ensure that the food safety and quality of the country is achieved. That's our main task.
About his institution's mode of spreading their tentacles across the country towards controlling the importation of food regarding its safety and quality for consumption, and the way forward after this consultative forum. Mohamed Silla has this to say.
The consultative forum that we just had will be used as one. The scientific committee also will be set up. Hopefully it will come into effect it will be inaugurated in September 2013. With all this in place, we'll ensure that we have enough stakeholders